The night was cold and silent. Ethan sat alone on the broken steps of an old building, staring at the city lights far away. His pockets were empty. His phone battery was almost dead. His stomach hadn't felt full in days. He whispered to himself, "Maybe this is where it ends." Just then, a small voice echoed in his mind, his father's voice from years ago. "Son, when you feel like giving up, that's when life is testing how strong you really are." Ethan closed his eyes. Tears rolled down his face. He had nothing left. But somewhere deep inside, he still refused to give up. Ethan wasn't always like this. Years ago, he was a bright, curious boy living in a small town with his family. His father, Daniel, worked as a mechanic. His mother, Maria, stitched clothes at home. They were poor, but their home was full of love. Every night, Ethan would sit at the small wooden table, doing homework under a dim bulb. One night, his younger sister Lily asked him, "Brother, why do you study so hard?" Ethan smiled and said, "Because one day, I'll change our life." Daniel placed his hand on Ethan's shoulder and said proudly, "Dream big, son. But remember, dreams demand patience." Ethan promised himself he would never disappoint them. But life doesn't always follow promises. When Ethan was 18, everything changed. Daniel fell seriously ill. The medical bills grew bigger every day. Maria worked nonstop, but it wasn't enough. One evening, Daniel held Ethan's hand and said softly, "Take care of your mother and sister." That night, Ethan lost his father. The house felt empty. The dreams felt heavy. Ethan dropped out of college to work. He took any job he could find, cleaning floors, carrying boxes, working late nights. People around him said, "Your dreams are over now." Accept reality. Life isn't fair. At first, Ethan believed them. Years passed. Ethan moved to the city, hoping for a better future. But the city was cruel. Jobs were temporary. Rent was high. Friends disappeared when money ran out. One rainy evening, his boss told him, "We don't need you anymore." That was it. No job, no savings, no place to stay. Ethan spent that night under an old building, soaked and shivering. His phone showed one unread message. It was from Lily. "Brother, I believe in you." That message broke him. He cried like a child. For the first time, he thought, "What if I give up?" The next morning, Ethan sat on a bench near a small tea shop, lost in thought. An old man named Mr. Harris noticed him. "You look tired, son," the old man said. Ethan forced a smile. "Just life." Mr. Harris handed him a cup of tea. "Life breaks everyone," he said, "but not everyone stays broken." Ethan looked at him. "I've failed at everything." The old man smiled gently. "No, you're still breathing. That means your story isn't finished." Those words stayed with Ethan. For the first time in months, he felt something shift inside him. That day, Ethan made a decision. He walked into a small repair shop and asked for work. The owner looked at his worn clothes and said, "Can you fix machines?" Ethan remembered his father's garage. "I can learn," he replied. The owner nodded. "Come tomorrow." The pay was small. The hours were long. His hands hurt. His back ached. But every night, Ethan told himself, "I didn't come this far to quit." He saved every coin. He learned new skills. He failed many times. Some nights, hunger returned. Doubt returned. But quitting never did. Months later, Ethan tried starting a small repair service on his own. He borrowed money, bought old tools. For a moment, things looked hopeful. Then disaster struck. A major client refused to pay. His tools were stolen. The debt returned. Ethan sat on the floor of his room, staring at the walls. Nothing left. Again. He picked up his phone and called Maria. "I'm sorry," he said. "For everything." Maria replied calmly. "Son, I didn't raise you to win every time. I raised you to stand up every time." Ethan closed his eyes. That night, he chose strength over surrender. Ethan remembered something his father once said. Hard work shines brightest when no one is watching. He started repairing old machines people had thrown away. He posted simple ads online. He helped neighbors for free. Slowly, word spread. Call Ethan. He won't quit until it's fixed. Weeks turned into months. The work grew. The trust grew. One evening, Lily called him, excited. "Brother, I got accepted into college." Ethan smiled through tears. This time, they were happy tears. Years later, Ethan stood inside his own workshop. Clean walls, new tools, his name painted on the sign. Ethan Repairs and Solutions. Maria visited him that day. She touched the sign and whispered, "Your father would be proud." Ethan looked at his hands, hands that had once trembled with fear. Now, they were steady. Mr. Harris walked in and smiled. "Looks like you didn't give up." Ethan replied softly, "I had nothing left, but I still had myself." Success didn't erase Ethan's pain, but it gave meaning to it. He hired young boys who reminded him of himself. He helped others who were on the edge of giving up. And every time someone asked him, "How did you survive?" Ethan answered with a smile, "I didn't wait for life to get easy. I decided not to quit." If you're listening to this story today, if you feel tired, if you feel lost, if you feel like life has taken everything from you, remember this. You don't need everything to keep going. You just need the courage to take one more step. Because sometimes you have nothing left. And that's exactly when your strongest self is born. Never give up.